This is what happened. Tonight, like 15 minutes ago, I decided to do an Instagram Live for the first time in a while. So I had a video planned. I have a topic picked out. I've already done the Instagram post on it. I don't really do scripts anymore for these. I don't really write anything at all anymore for these. I like to wing it, because usually it comes out better if I just wing it. So I had the topic ready. Then I decided to do the Instagram Live. And a bunch of people asked about dating non-Christians. About Christians dating people who did not believe. So a bunch of you guys commented on Instagram Live about dating non-Christians. Should Christians date people who do not believe? So that's what I'm going to do it on. It was that heavy that that's what this video is going to be about. We're going to talk about, should Christians date people who are not also Christian. Before we get started, the usual garbage. If you don't have me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, please go like, follow all those places, because each one gets different content. Twitter I use for day-to-day bullcrap. I post weird stuff, whatever I'm thinking, personal stuff on Twitter. I don't do that on Instagram. Instagram, however, you get all the context for all the YouTube videos I do. All the prep work goes on Instagram. So if you don't have me there, find me there. Facebook, I don't use a lot, but if you could go like the page, that'd be dope. Also, if you're into theology, check out theologyforums.com. It's a forum we put up about a year ago, but we haven't done a lot of work on in a while. For whatever reason, people are still using it. There are a ton of users on there talking about some heavily theological stuff. Deep stuff that you will not hear about on Sunday morning. So if you're into deep content, if you're into theology, and you want to learn more than what you're learning on Sunday morning at church, go to theologyforums.com. Signing up is free. Nobody ever asks you for money or anything. You'll learn some stuff there. There's some very intelligent people on that website. Lastly, patreon.com/tattooedtheist. A lot of you guys are helping me out massively by donating there. I'm going to be able to do cooler stuff and more fun stuff because of the people who help me on Patreon. I can get better equipment, and I can get equipment that's going to let me take the camera into the street. What I want to do is I want to go out and I want to do interactive stuff in the city of Chicago. It costs money. So all of you who are donating on Patreon, I love you. And those of you who are not and you want to, go do it, because I'm going to be able to do some cool stuff if I'm able to pay for it. And I work and I'm a graduate student, and so I don't have a lot of money. So thank you guys who are, and if you're interested in doing it, or just go look. See if you feel led to do it or not. It's patreon.com/tattooedtheist. Now, should Christians be dating people who are not Christian? What would any Christian tell you? No. Why? Because Paul said you shouldn't be unequally yoked. Duh. Here's the problem. Just like everything else in the Bible, that verse is heavily disputed. A lot of people disagree about what the proper interpretation of what Paul's saying is. Some say that it does have to do with relationships within that context. Others say it just has to do with general relationships. You shouldn't yoke yourself to people who don't believe in Jesus. Here's my problem with it, is what Jesus told you to do, which should matter more, was to go out and make disciples. Not go out and hang out with people who already know him. That's not what he asked you to do. The Great Commission was to go out and hang out with people who don't know Jesus. People who are not Christian. That's what you're commanded to do. What Paul's talking about, in my interpretive opinion, is not to literally yoke yourself. Yoking, for those of you who don't know, it's not a Bible word, but it's an old word that we don't use anymore. They used to yoke oxes together to keep them like right next to each other. It's like things around their neck and then thing around other ox's neck. So they'd be stuck together. That's yoking. So what Paul's talking about, he's saying don't yoke yourself, don't intimately connect yourself with somebody who doesn't believe the same as you. Now that can apply to romantic relationships, and that can apply to platonic relationships. It just depends, and that's my opinion. A lot of people disagree with that. A lot of people disagree with that and the traditional view, and they have a whole nother view. That's Christianity for you. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to tell you some examples. Here's an example. A Christian man, heavily Christian, goes to church, reads his Bible, believes with all his heart, sings on the worship team, leads a small group, whatever. Wears a church shirt on casual Friday at work. I don't know. Super Christian, right? He meets this girl. Really likes her. She's not Christian. They get married. Everything's cool. She goes to church with them. She just doesn't believe. He does his small group stuff. She goes and does a knitting class or whatever the hell. Here's where an issue might come in. Then they have a kid. Okay? What do you teach the kid? Well, the girl might believe strictly in evolution, and in evolution that has nothing to do with God. Okay? Whereas dude, we'll call him a young earth creationist, believes that evolution is not true. He believes the Adam and Eve story is literal. He wants to teach his kids that. She wants to teach him that the earth is billions of years old and that there is no God. That is a huge issue for a married couple. That is a huge issue for the child. That kid's going to be torn in half. What are they supposed to believe? Mom or dad? You're putting your kid in a really horrible position. And you guys are going to bicker like hell. And you know you will. That's not the only example. That can happen in a million different contexts. Say she wants to see a movie that has nudity in it. She has no issue with it because she doesn't abide by the moral standard of the Bible. He has a different moral standard due to the Bible, based off of what he believes, doesn't want to see it, they're going to bicker about it. There's so many little things in life, and then there are so many big things in life, that if you guys don't agree, are going to be issues. Because here's the bottom line. If you're a Christian, if you're an average Christian, God and Christianity are the center of your life. Everything you do, think, see has to do with God in one way or another. If you're super Christian, it's literally the center of your life, where all the music you listen to is only Christian, all the people you hang out with are only Christian, all the movies you see are only Christian. Now, I think that's an extreme, and I don't agree with that. I don't think that's biblical. But regardless, for example's sake, you're going to have an issue. Let's take religion out of it. Relationships that last longer are shared between people who have more things in common. The more things you have in common with somebody, and I'm not talking about just romantic, I'm talking about friendships. You're going to be more connected to, and you're going to have a better relationship with people that you have things in common with. That's just human nature. You'll have more to talk about. You'll have more to do. You'll enjoy doing things together because you both like doing the same stuff. That's just how it works. So say if God is the biggest thing in your life, everything matters, everything that matters has to do with God, and your partner doesn't share that, there is a huge wall between you and your partner. It doesn't matter how much you love them, it doesn't matter how much they love you. There is still a huge freaking brick wall between you guys, because the most important thing in your life, they don't find that important. Do you get what I'm saying? It's a huge issue. It's going to pose huge issues. And here's another example, and this I've used when I've preached about it before. I think I got it from, I want to say it was Crazy Love, the book. I can't remember the pastor's name. He gives an example like this. He says, if you're standing on a table, right, and somebody's standing on the floor right here. Okay, if this person on the floor were to grab your hand, so now you're holding hands from floor to top of table, would it be easier for you to pull the person from the floor up onto the table, or would it be easier for the person on the floor to pull you off of the table? It would be easier for the person on the floor to pull you off of the table. So say you love this person so much that you're willing to abandon certain parts of your faith to be able to keep them in your life. You're choosing them over God. and that can become an issue. I hope I'm being very clear right now. I'm not saying you shouldn't date non-believers. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that there will be issues. Maybe that person will come to Christ later. I don't know. You don't know. Your Aunt Helen doesn't know. So don't take advice like that. You need to pray about it and think about it logically and think about what you should do. In some cases, you'll date and marry a non-believer and then they will become a Christian. That happens all the time. All of the time. You could be the person that leads that person to Christ. But we get into trouble when we think that we're going to that's always the case. That because you're such a strong Christian, you're going to be able to get them to come to Christ. It just doesn't always happen. It's a gamble. It's playing Russian roulette. So should you date non-Christians? I don't know. Because who knows what their future is? They very well may become a Christian later. But if they don't, just know that even you guys could stay married forever and be happy. But there's always going to be that wall between you guys. Because the most important thing in your life, that person does not find important. And it's really that simple. I never tell people not to date people who don't believe the same as them. But I always tell them, you guys are going to have issues. And later in life, they're going to get a lot worse. If one of you doesn't change. So a lot of times people lose their faith. Because they want so badly to be with this person, and they want so badly to please this person, that they're willing to let go of some things about their faith life to please and adhere to what their spouse needs, which is a dangerous game. If you believe in God, and you believe the Bible is true, and you believe all these things, you're abandoning your faith for a spouse, which it's fair to say that's not okay. So it's a dangerous game, and that's the bottom line. It's a dangerous game to play. So, all said and done, should you? I don't know. Could it work out? Absolutely. Could it be horrible? Absolutely. It just depends. It's all totally by chance. Is it the most intelligent decision? No. It's not the most intelligent decision. But it could work out. Don't let people tell you that it's not going to work out. I know plenty of people who got married to somebody who's not Christian, and now that person is gung-ho Christian. It just depends. But it is a gamble. So it just depends on whether you want to gamble that or not. Dating is a good way to see if you think there's a change in them or not. If you've been dating for 2 years, and it's very obvious this person's a militant atheist and they're not going to change, you shouldn't marry them. You shouldn't. And not just because, the Bible says you shouldn't. Because your relationship's going to suck. You're going to have a crappy relationship. Because they're going to think you're stupid, and you're going to think they're stupid, and you guys aren't going to know how to raise your kids, and you're going to disagree about everything, because your morals are different than their morals. Everything is different. Everything is different. With or without religion. Being with someone that is very different from you, who has different beliefs, different morals, and different values, is somebody that you should not see longevity in a romantic relationship with. Because if you do, you're delusional. And it's not going to work. And that much I can say with confidence. The rest, I don't know, because it's all just a game of chance. So try it. Date. See what happens. If you don't see longevity, and you don't see the possibility of a change, then I would move on. That would be my advice. And that stems from just my opinion. And who cares? It's just my opinion. But you guys asked for it, so I'm going to give it to you. And that's it. So, the next video will be what I was supposed to do tonight. When? I don't know. But I'm committed to doing 2 videos a week again. To getting back on schedule with that. I'm also going to really try to do a live stream every week, because it's freaking fun when I do it. Because you guys are ridiculous. You guys are nutcases. And I'm a big fan. For now, it's going to be Instagram Live. I am ordering the piece of hardware that I need to do YouTube Live this week, as soon as I get a check. So then it will be YouTube, because it's a better platform. The quality will be a lot better. So that's that. Anyways, I love you guys. I hope this cleared some stuff up. If not, sorry. Sorry about it. But I love you guys. Have a good week.